NASA can't stop what Revelation has already predicted. While NASA spends billions tracking 3 specific threats from space, you will be shocked when you find 3 space threats scientists are tracking that could be biblical prophecies. Threat 1. Wormwood Asteroid Apocalypse. Right now, as you're watching this, there's a 140-meter-wide chunk of the rock and metal hurtling through space at 25,000 miles per hour. Its name is Asteroid 2022 AP7. And astronomers are calling it the largest, potentially hazardous asteroid discovered in nearly a decade. But here's what will terrify you. We almost missed it completely. On December the 27th, 2024, NASA's ATLAS telescope in Chile detected asteroid 2024 YR4, initially just another near-Earth object. But soon, alarm bells rang. New calculations showed the asteroid's trajectory intersecting Earth's orbit on December 22nd, 2032, with an unprecedented 3.2% chance of impact, the highest ever for an object of its size. In asteroid terms, it's terrifying. 3 collisions out of every 100 simulations. NASA mobilized all resources, including the James Webb Space Telescope. Even much smaller asteroids have caused devastation. Now, let me show you how this connects to biblical prophecy in a way that will make your jaw drop. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a man named John, exiled on the island of Patmos, described cosmic impacts with a precision that modern astrophysicists find absolutely stunning. Revelation 6:13 states, "And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind." Think about that description for a moment. John isn't describing a single falling star. He's describing multiple objects falling from heaven, like figs falling from a tree when shaken. Modern astronomy has discovered that asteroids often travel in what scientists call families, groups of objects that broke off from larger bodies and travel together through space. How could a first-century fisherman accurately describe asteroid swarms thousands of years before we discovered they existed? But it gets even more specific. Revelation 8:10-11 provides details that will give you chills. "And there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter." For centuries, biblical scholars struggled to understand what wormwood meant and how a falling star could poison water systems. But modern impact studies have revealed something extraordinary. When asteroids strike Earth, they don't just create explosions. They vaporize massive amounts of rock and metal, sending toxic compounds into the atmosphere that eventually fall as acid rain. Heavy metals like mercury, lead, and arsenic, naturally present in asteroids, contaminate water supplies across vast regions. The word wormwood in the original Greek is absinthos, which refers to a bitter, poisonous plant. It's the perfect description of how water tastes when contaminated with heavy metals from asteroid impacts. But John's prophecy gets even more specific. He says, the third part of the waters becomes poisoned. Some say wormwood is a comet, a massive rock of ice and fire crashing into the Earth. Others say it's a nuclear missile. It's radiation poisoning rivers like Chernobyl. Here's a mind-blowing detail. The Ukrainian word for wormwood is Chernobyl. That's right, when the Chernobyl disaster happened in 1986, many thought it was the prophecy being fulfilled. But Revelation says this event is still to come, and it will affect a third of the world's fresh water. It's not just a symbol, it's an event with deadly results. And it's coming during a time when judgments are already falling fast. Now here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Revelation 8:7 describes the first trumpet judgment. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. Modern impact simulations show that when a large asteroid strikes, superheated debris is thrown back into the atmosphere and rains down as fiery projectiles across thousands of miles. This secondary bombardment ignites massive wildfires that can burn roughly one-third of a continent's vegetation. The hail and fire mingled with blood. That's exactly what witnesses would see as molten rock and metal falls from the sky, glowing red-hot like blood. But there's something even more chilling about John's asteroid prophecies. Revelation 16:21 describes the seventh bowl judgment. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. A talent in biblical times weighed approximately 75 pounds. John is describing hailstones weighing 75 pounds falling from heaven. But asteroids are just the first of 3 cosmic threats that NASA is tracking. And when you see what our sun is capable of, you'll understand why solar physicists are even more concerned than asteroid hunters. Because right now, I need to show you the second threat, one that NASA rates as even more dangerous than asteroids. Threat 2. Solar Fury. Our sun is a ticking time bomb, and NASA knows it. Right now, as you're watching this, there are massive magnetic field lines on the sun's surface twisting and building energy like a coiled spring. When these magnetic fields reconnect, they release energy equivalent to billions of hydrogen bombs in a single burst. And here's what will terrify you. We're entering the most dangerous phase of the solar cycle right now. Solar physicists are warning of a looming disaster as the sun enters solar cycle 25, a period of extreme instability. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory is already recording solar activity that exceeds all expectations. Governments are taking it seriously. Space weather was recently upgraded to the same threat level as floods and pandemics in the UK based on classified solar data. In 2003, the strongest solar flare ever recorded overloaded satellite sensors and caused global GPS outages and power failures. Now watch this biblical description and tell me it doesn't perfectly match what modern solar physics has discovered. Nearly 2,000 years ago, John of Patmos described solar catastrophe with precision that modern astrophysicists find absolutely stunning. Revelation 16:8-9 states, "And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory." For nearly 2,000 years, people didn't understand how the sun could scorch men with fire. The sun is 93 million miles away. How could it directly harm people on Earth? But now we know exactly what John was describing. When a massive coronal mass ejection hits Earth's magnetosphere, it doesn't just disrupt technology. It compresses and distorts our planet's magnetic field so severely that deadly solar radiation can penetrate directly to the surface. NASA's magnetospheric studies show that during extreme solar storms, the protective magnetic field that normally deflects solar radiation can be compressed to just 10% of its normal strength. This allows high-energy particles to reach Earth's surface, delivering radiation doses that would be lethal to unprotected humans. The scorching with fire that John described isn't metaphorical. It's a precise description of radiation burns from solar particle bombardment. But there's more biblical precision that will shock you. Revelation 6:12 describes the opening of the sixth seal. "And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." How could the sun appear black as sackcloth, and the moon appear as blood? For centuries, this seemed impossible to explain scientifically. But modern solar physics reveals exactly how this happens. When massive solar storms interact with Earth's atmosphere, they create global auroral displays that can make the sun appear dark during the day and give the moon a deep red appearance at night. The same electromagnetic interactions that create the beautiful northern lights become a global phenomenon during extreme space weather events. And there's even more specific detail in the biblical text. Luke 21:25 provides additional information. "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." The sea and the waves roaring. What does that have to do with solar storms? Recent research has discovered that intense electromagnetic fields from solar storms can actually affect ocean currents and tidal patterns. The electromagnetic interactions create subsurface heating that causes unusual wave patterns and oceanic disturbances. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind about biblical solar prophecy. Joel 2:31 provides even more specific detail. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. Notice the sequence. Sun darkened first, then moon turns to blood. This is exactly the progression that solar physicists observed during major coronal mass ejection events. How could ancient prophets describe the specific sequence of electromagnetic atmospheric interactions with such precision? NASA's latest solar data reveals alarming changes in solar activity that some believe align with ancient prophecies. What you see in the sky is just the beginning. The shaking comes next. Could the blood moon be the sign that Revelation warned us about? And are we already seeing it happen? First the sign, then the shaking, then the Savior. Let's go back in time. Earthquakes follow. Darkness follows. Terror follows. And in Revelation 6, people run to the mountains and beg to die. The blood moon doesn't end with a sky show. It leads to the shaking of the earth. The Bible said there would be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Science tells us when, but prophecy tells us why. In Joel 2 and Revelation 6, the blood moon is not random. It's a countdown marker, right before the return of Christ. Before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Joel 2:31. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Revelation 6:17. That's the moment, and we are already seeing wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in many places, famine and disease, Israel rising again, people calling good evil and evil good. Everything is pointing to one thing: Jesus is coming back. And the sky is giving us the first warnings. The blood moon is not the end. It's the siren before the storm. Could we be living in the final chapter, with the sky above writing the title? When Pharaoh wouldn't listen, God turned the Nile to blood. When the world mocked Noah, God sent clouds and rain. When Jesus was born, a star lit the sky. And when he died, the sun was darkened. Luke 23:45. During the crucifixion, the Bible says the sun went dark at midday for 3 hours. Some historians and scientists confirm a regional eclipse occurred around the same time, fulfilling prophecy down to the hour. The sky doesn't lie, it has no opinion. It only reflects what God commands. What you call coincidence, God calls a call to repent. The moon turns red, the world keeps scrolling. NASA gives a news briefing, but the Bible is clear. The most important part of the Revelation prophecy isn't the destruction, it's what comes after. While most people focus on the catastrophic events in Revelation, the final chapters describe something unprecedented: the complete transformation of reality itself. Not just the end of the world as we know it, but the beginning of something infinitely better. Revelation 21:1-4 states, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." This isn't just poetic language about a spiritual afterlife. John is describing a physical transformation of reality. New physics, new biology, new cosmic order. Number 3, heaven and earth will perish. John saw something amazing in his vision. He saw a brand new world where God lives with his people. There was no more sin, no more death, and no more sadness. At the start of what John saw, he told us something big. This world we live in now will come to an end. God made the world knowing this would happen. One day, he will make a brand new heaven and a brand new earth. This new world will fix everything that's wrong right now, like the weather disasters and all the trouble we see. The Bible clearly says the earth and sky won't last forever, but you will still be here even when they are gone. The world will wear out like old clothes, but you will keep going. Psalm 102, verse 26. Even they will perish, but you endure. All of them will wear out like a garment. Like clothing, you will change them, and they will pass away. The Bible always tells us that this world won't last forever. Jesus also said this in Matthew 24:35. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Jesus was talking about the end times and how his words never fade. He said, "My words will never pass away." That means we should trust Jesus more than anything else in this world, because his words will last when everything else is gone. You might be asking, when will this new heaven come? Hold on to that question, because we'll explain it later. Jesus also talks about the sky and the earth going away in Matthew 5:18. For truly, I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke of a letter shall pass from the law, until all is accomplished. People will last longer than this world. Some will live in joy forever, and others in sadness forever. But this world will be replaced by one with no sin at all. We learn more about how the world ends in 2 Peter 3:10-12. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief, in which the heavens will pass away with a roar, and the elements will be destroyed with intense heat, and the earth and its works will be discovered. Since all these things are to be destroyed in this way, what sort of people ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be destroyed by burning, and the elements will melt with intense heat? Back in the book of Genesis, we're told the world was once destroyed in a great flood during Noah's time, but God promised never to flood the whole earth again. Genesis 9:11. Instead, the Bible teaches that on the day of the Lord, the whole universe will be destroyed by fire. The prophet Isaiah also said heaven and earth will pass away, and all the heavenly lights will wear away, and the sky will be rolled up like a scroll. All its lights will also wither away, as a leaf withers from the vine, or as one withers from the fig tree. But God gives his people a promise. Even if heaven and earth disappear, his salvation stays the same. Raise your eyes to the sky, then look to the earth beneath. For the sky will vanish like smoke, and the earth will wear out like a garment, and its inhabitants will die in the same way. But my salvation will be forever, and my righteousness will not fail. What does this mean for you personally, and what can you do about it? Because everything I've shown you leads to one inescapable conclusion. Physical preparation might help you survive some cosmic disasters, but it won't help you navigate the spiritual dimensions of what's coming. Because according to biblical prophecy, the ultimate threat isn't to your body, it's to your soul. Revelation 3:20 records these words, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me." This isn't just religious symbolism. It's a personal invitation to align yourself with the intelligence that accurately predicted every cosmic threat NASA is now tracking. Think about the implications. If the same source that precisely described asteroid impacts, solar storms, and magnetic field collapse also offers you personal protection and transformation, wouldn't that be worth investigating? But here's what most people miss about the Revelation prophecies. They're not just predictions of doom. They're warnings designed to prompt action. Every cosmic threat described comes with a corresponding promise of protection for those who respond appropriately. Revelation 7:3-4 describes 144,000 people who receive a seal of protection before the cosmic judgments begin, saying, "Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel." What if this sealing isn't just ancient symbolism, but a literal protection against the cosmic radiation, electromagnetic pulses, and other space-based threats that NASA is tracking? Here's what I want you to understand. You have a choice to make. You can continue living as if these cosmic threats are distant possibilities that might never affect you. You can trust that technology and human ingenuity will somehow solve problems that NASA admits they can't fully predict or prevent. Or you can acknowledge that an intelligence capable of accurately predicting cosmic events 2,000 years in advance might also be capable of protecting you through them. But here's the thing about choices. They have deadlines. And if those same prophecies offer both warning and protection, what are you going to do with that information? Because what I'm about to share with you next could be the most important decision you ever make. Revelation 22:17 issues this invitation. "And the Spirit and the bride say, 'Come.' And let him that heareth say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. This is your personal invitation to align yourself with the intelligence behind these prophecies, not through religious ritual or institutional membership, but through a simple acknowledgement that the creator of the cosmos you've seen described in such detail also cares about you personally.